Good day, my peoples. Good day, my peoples. I'm not going to be on here too long. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm not going to be on here too long. Guess what? I had an idea. And this is what I noticed. What I noticed was when I stopped looking for the answers, it seemed like I started to get them. Put that right there to rest right now. Yeah, that's what it looked like. It looked like to me that when I start, see, there's nothing wrong with asking a question. That's how you supposed to, that's going to be your gateway. Your gateway is going to be your question, okay? But after that right there, what I was doing was I was looking for an answer. You see what I'm saying? And I could never get the answer that I was looking for. You know what I mean? Because remind you, like I told you, once when you go into that state where you just to yourself, where it's just you know what I mean? And you ain't got nobody to think to but yourself, then, you know, these are the things that come to you. At that point, you silent. You're not saying anything. You just really quiet, right? And that right there is where you found, at least for me, that's where I found my most, the most answers to my questions. That's where it fell at right there, was when I was quiet about it. After losing my son, man, I needed some answers. Somebody had to give me some answers, you know what I'm saying? And the answers that I was getting, they wasn't really registering to me, you know what I'm saying? Like they register now, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I did learn, it might sound crazy to some, I did learn to shut up and listen for a minute, because I noticed that the longer I kept this part right here closed and opened up this part right here, man, these answers started coming. I'm talking about, and that's the reason why you need some time alone to yourself so you can be able to think, because I'm going to tell you, these answers going to come to you. And when these answers come to you, they're going to be so clear, because now you have nothing interrupting your mind. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because as long as you are looking for that answer, chances are, not all the time, but chances are, if you're looking for that answer, it's not going to resonate with you when you get that answer, and it's not what you want it to be. You see what I'm saying? Because you want that answer to be a certain way. And sometimes that answer is not going to sit well with you. So this right here could explain why sometimes, for a long time, I used to get woke up, and it still happened. But it was long before, like, the spring or something. It seemed like when the spring came around here, something else different happened. Like, it was a whole different feeling inside when spring came around. But before then, like, it'd be times where I would get woke up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Now, at that time, I wasn't really thinking about it, because I was too busy thinking about my son. I wasn't thinking about no answers and stuff like that. But they was coming to me, and I wasn't even thinking about them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just sitting back, just thinking about it now. See, that's why you got to think. That's why I tell you got to do this stuff by yourself sometimes. And you got to think, because it's going to require you to go back. You're going to have to go back, and then you're going to have to look at a situation that you asked a question about. And then I'm telling you, man, that answer is going to hit you when you least expect it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I've been getting a whole lot of my answers. They've been hitting me when I'm least expected. Yep, that's right. Absolutely. They hit me when I'm least expected, because I was looking for a certain answer. It wasn't coming to me the right way. Now, let me tell you about these answers, though. Now, I got to tell you about that. These answers that you're going to get, in many cases, in some cases, they are not going to be the answer you want to hear. How about that? That's right. These answers are going to be some answers that might be far off, way far off from what you expected it to be. That's right. So you got to be prepared for that. You got to be prepared for the type of answer that comes behind the question that you ask, because it could be far off. For real. It could be far off. You know, like for instance, I'll give you an example of that right there. Again, when spirit come and I say, well, hey, why did my son have to lose his life in that situation? And spirit come back and say, well, hey, because the person that did it, life needed to be rejuvenated. He needed some stuff to clean up in his life. See, now that's an answer right there that you're not preparing to, you're not trying to feel that. You're not preparing to feel no answer like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's the answer you're going to get. You'll get some stuff like that. Some, that's way far from, you expecting to hear something like, he ran a light, or he had a medical emergency, or, the car malfunctioned, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't totally, and you listen to that right there, man. It's not something that you want to hear, but these are the answers that you're going to get. So sometimes, like, if you're going to follow your spirit, it's going to take you out of what you used to feeling. Like, for real, like, it's going to take you out of what you used to feeling. And the answer that you're going to get away out of that right there, it's going to have, like I said, it's going to be a nasty taste, but follow it though. But follow it and see where it leads you. And I'm telling you, in many cases for me, when I just said forget it and I just went out on a limb and I just followed the answers, in many cases, I'm talking about 95% of the time, them answers were spot on. Absolutely. They were spot on. And that, at that point right there, that's when I started telling people, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you follow your spirit gonna let you know. If you, it's gonna tell you. It's just like some autopilot type thing it's gonna tell you certain stuff. And it's gonna be up to you whether you're gonna go by it or not. Again, it's not gonna stop you from doing what you want to do. It will tell you. And it's a good chance that you're going to know the likelihood of whatever that thing is that you're doing before you do it. Your spirit is going to let you know this right here. Okay. So when you start asking questions, just like you ask questions and your spirit knows certain things, your spirit going to give you the answer to that question. Now, one thing about it though, it might not be right away. That's one thing about it. That the answer that you're going to get to the questions that you ask, it might not be right away. So you put yourself in the situation in where it's very quiet. You don't need to hear nothing. Only thing you need to do is hear yourself think. And in that moment right there, you don't even have to ask yourself no more questions. The question's already done been asked. Man, you can ask a question. You can ask yourself a question today and you ain't going to get that answer and maybe 2-3 days later. And then it's going to come back to you. That's probably what we call deja vu. I don't know. It might not be because you not ask yourself something. Now you got the answer to it. You're like, wait a minute. No, you ask yourself a question and you got your answer. And not every time is that answer going to be comfortable. So I'm still dealing with the answers that I'm getting, and some of them is comfortable, some of them ain't, and you just gotta adjust the adjustment that you gotta make. You know what I'm saying? When you figure something out, you adjust to it and you say, okay, boom, that's something that you got something that you got with you. Check it off. You know what I'm saying? And you use it. That's another tool. You know what I'm saying? Actually, that you use. You say, wait a minute. The only thing I got to do is ask a question and don't look for the answer and it'll come to me. Yeah, absolutely. That's the way it did for me. That's all I had to do. So ask some questions and the answers, they just freaking road to you. Because I've asked some questions, man. I ain't playing. I've asked some questions. And like the way that you would get the answer, it'll play out, you know what I'm saying, in a certain way. I'm telling you, it'll play out in a certain way. So if I'm down here teaching Junior in the physical, and now Junior is gone, Junior is now teaching me in the spirit. He's teaching me in the spirit, because it's going to be certain things that I might struggle with, that Junior can be used as a tool to actually give me the strength that I may need to actually get through to, you know, what I need to get done. See, I thought about this right here, just sitting down, like, wait a minute, that he could be used as a tool. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to grieve over him, even though sometimes you can't help that though, but I can actually use him as a tool. Yeah. So how do you do that right there? How do you use him as a tool? Simple. Only thing you got to do is think about whatever it is that you're doing, and don't let them down while you're doing it. And then you push on, and then you push on, then you push on, then eventually you'll get it. Just like he told me with the Sonic when he drew it. Eventually, you know, he'll get better. Just like I told him, eventually he'll get better. So it seemed like he telling me the same thing. You know, that's why at times when you hear that, sometimes you can hear your loved ones say, you know, like, go ahead, like, I'm good. Like giving you, they give you the reassurance, but like I said, it's going to be you that really hold you back in many of these cases, man. But yeah, that's what you got to do. That's what I got to do. That's what I got to do. I could use him as a tool in many ways that I probably wouldn't have been able to do while he was here. You know, and that right there is just an answer that come to you. You know, why did this right here stuff happen? Hey, the answer to that right there, you know, for what your ego want to hear, that's not the answer for the betterment of you, because it was something else better behind that. To take a hit like that, it was something else behind that, you know, that you don't know and you trying to put your finger on. You know, it's times where you think about this stuff so much, man, you get to blaming yourself, man. I'm tired of blaming myself. You know, I'm tired of blaming myself, dude. I'm tired of blaming myself on, what if I had called and just said, you know, we'd just ride together, just wait till I get there. You know, what if I had just took the day off of work? What if I had just, you know, just say, hold on, you know, or I just split the kids up. You know, I ride with, half of them ride with me. And, you know, it's so many things, man, that you think of later on after the fact. You know what I'm saying? That you be beating yourself up on. You know what I'm saying? All the coulda, woulda, shouldas and all that stuff right there. You will really fry your mind later on down the line thinking about what could have happened, because just that little pinch of a second, that only thing it took was just a tap of a brake somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about, you could have prevented a lot of stuff. May have been some serious injury, but it could have been, you know. And so you look at this stuff right here, like I said, it got to be some type of divinity in it somewhere. You got to look at it from a different angle, man. You can't look at it from the way that you've seen it with your eyes, for sure. You can't look at it from the way that you've seen it with your eyes, because I'm telling you, that stuff right there it will yank at you so much, man, because you're going to keep on blaming yourself. And you ain't have nothing to do with it. It could have really been out your hand. And for somewhere in there, you know, just, I don't know why, you would find a way to blame yourself. You going to find a way to blame yourself, because you thinking of all the different routes that could have happened. You know what I'm saying? When you looking, you know, when you looking, you know, behind you, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. But like I said, you just find different ways. You know, like I said, my thing is to find a different way. And if I can help somebody else find a different way dealing with this stuff, then take it. Take it and run with it. Take it and run with it. Take it and run with it. because now Junior is the teacher. Because at this point, Junior is in a place where he could teach me some stuff that I don't know nothing about like that. You know, like he know it now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a cycle, man. It's almost like a cycle. The kid teach the parent teach the kid at some point in time, but then they go back and they teach you. So in that case, you're never too old to learn something from your kids. In fact, your kids are pretty much the teachers to you, to where you're supposed to be. And you kind of like break them out of that right there by teaching them your way. And that's why I always pay attention to the kids, man. Every time a new kid came through, I always told them, hey, man, welcome back. Welcome back, because I know they just came back. And where they just came from is so peaceful that when they get back here, they start crying when they come out. Yeah, they ain't happy when they come out. They crying, they mad. It was peaceful where they was. And all that negative energy just hit them when they came back here. Man, I don't want to be here. And they know that right there off rip as an infant, you know, brand new. That's crazy, man. I miss that boy. But anyway, yeah, these right here are things that you come up with, you know. So that right there is one of the things that I learned to do. You know, ask questions. Don't ask for the answers. Don't look for the answers, and use my son as a tool to get certain things done in my favor down here. You know what I'm saying? And when I say as a tool, you know, a tool is for help, not abuse, for help. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's the best you're going to get out of that for right now, unless something else pop up. Yep. That's right. Unless something else pop up, it's the best you're going to get for right now. It's the best I can get for right now. Because you can keep on asking and asking and asking. And you probably pulling these answers from the wrong sources, from the wrong places. That answer going to come from within you. That answer going to come from within you. Now, how it resonate with you, hey, that's between you and your answer. But that answer is going to come to you. It's not going, that answer can't come from an outside source. And that's another thing that you learn too when you sitting in silence. When you sitting in silence, you gonna realize that the answers came to you, and only you. It didn't come from nothing on the outside of you. It came from you. You know what I'm saying? It's like almost like you knew the answers to it anyway, and you tried to go around it. Didn't bring you nowhere. But I'm about to get up out of here. I told y'all I wasn't going to keep this video too long. I'm going to hold to it today because I got other stuff to do. Hey, Uncle Ronnie, YouTube, like, share, subscribe. Go over there, share this. If there's anybody that y'all know that this right here can help, you know, want to, you know, or you going through it, hey, let's do it together, man. Let's heal together. Let's heal together. And, yeah, I'll see y'all on the next one. Hey, Uncle Ronnie, YouTube, like, share, subscribe.